Hello, hello. This is the Soul Rest Reliquarium using Phantasms with Phantasmal Might to give a bunch of physical spell damage. And let's hop into a map and check it out. So this build has been a great league starter. It's got me all my Void Stones, finished all the maps, and was fun. Took a little bit to get together. It was fun to kind of figure out the best way to use the combination. But now I'm pretty pleased with where it's at, and it's still got a ways to go. Still got some more offense to scale and tons of defense down the line with the Reliquarian like damage conversion you can do. But enough about the future. The way it plays now with the Void Sphere here, pretty easy. You just plop the sphere down where the enemies are, and they stop being there. So you can see all our phantasms running around trying to help out. So yeah, I use Void Sphere as the 6th link. It's like the main skill. And then I also have this Arcanist brand here, which can help out a little bit. It's also utility for corpse generation, corpse consumption. So for single target with nothing for the Void Sphere to consume itself, the Arcanist brand is how we can generate charges. Well, generate phantasms, and give us our damage bonus. But once we're in the map, everything's pretty smooth as long as there's stuff to kill. And yeah, very comfy to play. I'm also using the new mana infused staff gem, and that gives us that sphere on block. So if I just, well, they all want to attack. There you go. That sphere goes out, and that sphere also gets boosted by the Phantasmal Might. And so, yeah, it's just another way to apply the damage there. Ooh, an anomaly. So yeah, that's kind of the secret, I feel, to the Phantasmal Might build, is you want to use that buff in multiple ways. So Void Sphere is the main damage dealer, like the main skill, but having the Arcanist brand with the Vol Detonate Dead, or not Vol Detonate Dead, the Volatile Dead, having that as a secondary, that skill also gets all the extra added damage, and then the mana infused staff also gets all the extra damage, and hell, even Frostblink has a pretty nice damage to it when we're all charged up. So yeah, that's what it looks like in a map. Let's check out the gear and the passive tree. So gear-wise, a lot of this is still like early league start gear. So the boots, the gloves, nothing important going on there. Just enough to give life resistance and movement speed. The belt is fairly new. Got this off a Calguran boat and then went to the new boat and crafted it up to get this. So this one's actually pretty nice, but most of the time I was using a belt like this. Basically same thing, a little bit less life. This ring's pretty scuffed, just getting some chaos res and life. Nothing special amulet-wise, just life and resistance and a bit of stats. And then the body armor, the 6th link. Similar strat with using the new Alpha in crafting. I bought it with just the resistances I needed, I think, and then crafted on the life. I can't remember exactly, but that's kind of a trick to using the All Flame to get gears. You can buy okay bases with open slots, and then like get the resistance you need, and then craft on, or hopefully craft on with Exalt Slam in the crafting. So yeah, that's the basic gear. I'm using this for Despair on hit. Eventually this will go away, but I haven't had any need to replace it. And then the star of the show is obviously Dark Monarch with Phantasm doubled, and then the actual Soul Rest staff itself. So the way this works, if you're not familiar, you socket in a Summon Phantasm support, and those maximum 10 from this support gets added to the maximum from the level 25 trigger. So you get basically, 21, 22 once this is leveled up to 21, and then that gets doubled by Dark Monarch, and then all of those apply to your Phantasmal Might when they scale up. So that's the gear for the gems. The main gem is the Void Sphere of Rending with crit strikes, crit damage, power charge on crit for more damage, and then cruelty and void manipulation. Just the best gems I could find for giving more damage to the Void Sphere. Then the secondary with the Arcanist brand is Volatile Dead, keeping this level 1 for mana issues. And that extra fire damage doesn't do too much. The vast majority of the damage is all the physical damage added in, so level 1 is fine. And then Desecrate for the corpses to trigger. There's a little bit of tech here. Depending on the order you put these will control the order that the Arcanist brand procs. So this setup means the Volatile Dead will proc first. So if there aren't any corpses, nothing will happen, and then it'll proc Desecrate. If I swap it around like this, the Desecrate will proc first, put corpses down, and then Volatile Dead will proc. I kind of prefer it this way, just so when I'm spamming Arcanist brand in like a pack of mobs, then it'll burst right away, but it's kind of very subtle and kind of a preference thing which way you order it, but it does matter on the way it triggers. Other skills before the Soul Rest: Hail or Purity for a bit more damage. I went with a steel skin for a little bit of a defensive boost there. Purity of Fire for, since we're doing the Dawnbreaker from Reliquarium, we boost up our fire damage, our fire resistance to help with that. So this is for more max fire res. The movement skill, Leap Slam, Frost Blink. And then in here, I put the Mana Fused staff in the staff to double dip, particularly on more duration support, since the more duration will support the Phantasm in the staff, and then Mana Infused staff is also a duration. So this, the more duration gives it, basically makes the wave go out longer. So it gives you a much bigger wave to hit. So it double dips there. And then I'm trying out Cruelty and Energy Leech on the Mana Infused staff, as well as double dipping with the Phantasms to give them a little bit extra damage and then a little bit of survivability. We'll kind of see. These links are up in the air. You could also do like Meat Shield to make the Phantasms tankier, something like that. Then the other link down here is minion life support to also just help the Phantasms out. So yep, that is all the gems. If we look at the tree, so the key things here is with Dawnbreaker and then the Black Cane to give you Phantasmal Might. And then right now I'm using Combs Binding for a little bit more Fizz conversion. These two don't stack. These are like separate roles. But eventually I want to use the Katarina Bloodline to give move speed because I'm feeling quite slow. So the move speed for Phantasm should be very fantastic once I can get that. The rest of the tree, I'm still life-based. Eventually I want to go CI, so since I'm still using life, getting life on kill over here, bit of move speed here, and then moving up this way. We'll start here. I went ahead and grabbed the Assassin Forbidden Flame, Forbidden Flesh to give a bit more crit, to give power charge on crit, and then like elusive on crit as well. So it's not a huge boost, and there's some other options. You could go like Hierophant, you could go maybe even Necromancer, like there's different ways you could play it, but Assassin was pretty cheap, and the extra crit was nice. The elusive actually is kind of nice, so been playing with that. So yeah, moving up the tree, I do take these block nodes. These seem to be okay at keeping the Phantasms alive. Basically 30 attack, 30 spell block, so a little extra defense for the Phantasm, but I can play, you can kind of test out if you need that or not. Then moving up the tree, I do take the minion nodes, like the minion damage nodes and minion damage over here with spiritual aid. So those increases apply to our damage and our chaos damage. Coming down here, life and stats. Coming over here for life, minion damage. And then I'm also block. So spell block capped, not quite attack block capped yet, but it's good enough. So block over here, and then power charges for crit. Power charge for crit over here. Staff area and block, taking both the wither and chaos damage nodes up here, quite nice. Over here, bit of aura, life, and more staff nodes, staff crit and staff block over here. And then some block here in the middle. For the one important thing is overwhelming malice to give unholy might on crit. So that was a big reason of going crit, was to get unholy might as well as the damage boost. Unholy might will convert all of our added physical damage to chaos damage and giving that withered on hit a chance. So that's pretty nice. And so yeah, that's a key node to get once you've got enough to go crit and all that jazz, then getting this to go Unholy Might is pretty good. Before I was crit, I was doing Unholy Might on block here, and then there's also a flask that gives you Unholy Might. That was one way to do it, but going on the crit's way more consistent. Would definitely recommend going that way. So yeah, that is everything on the tree. The jewels, I guess. Oh yeah. One last thing on the tree is getting jewels with some max fire res and some block. And oh yeah, I remember this one just dropped. So this is life and chaos res, but this one, yeah, max res and block. So getting a little extra max res from there. So eventually, long term, I'd like to go CI and switch over, but this has been plenty good enough to do all the end game activities. And so yeah, overall, this build has been super smooth league starter. Once you get the staff at, I think, level 60, you can put it on. So basically right by the end of the campaign, the final Kitava, it just falls over immediately, and starting off mapping is great fun. And then you get a nice power boost with the Dark Monarch, basically doubling your damage. And once you get all your double phantasms, is super nice. And yeah, long term, eventually I'd like to get the not conflagration, the communion, whatever it is, the like extra 30% more minions, plop that into here, and that'll give another nice damage boost. And then eventually go like tempered by war to do more LE conversion, eventually convert all the LE damage to fire and have some fun with that. So it's got a lot of potential going forward, but I've been quite pleased with being able to just get through all the maps, farm T16s with ease. You know, having a block build is always nice. And then playing some new stuff, playing with the new Reliquarium and the new Mana Fusion staff has been quite nice. Very useful skill to put into a setup like this. So yeah, that's what I've been doing with it. I think there's also lots of other options. I think like Storm Burst has been pretty good. There's some other skills you could do, but what I really like about Void Sphere is it's just self-sustaining. So every time a Void Sphere kills something, you get fresh phantasms out of the ground. So plus Void Sphere just is a very nice skill. Sounds great, fun to have. So yeah, very cool build. If you've got a Scion and you need to crush some maps, a setup like this, even with minimal investment, even just a 5-link and a basic Soul Rest, and you probably don't even need Dark Monarch to be able to get through T16s without much trouble. So very fun thing to do. So yeah, that's the build. Take it easy.
escape this nightmare.